Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to my friends across the pond. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. I'm the founder and CEO of OptionPit.com. This is the state of the market. If you're watching me on YouTube, you're watching me on X. Please like, subscribe, give us that heart, or leave us a comment. And better yet, shoot my team an email, support@OptionPit.com, and join us. All right. So here we are. As we start off the day, markets are up. We had the S&P literally 3 minutes ago when I was talking to our own Garrett Baldwin. S&P 500 was up about 35. It's now up about 19. Call it about 0.25%. Dow marginally higher, up about 0.1%. Q showing some teeth, up over about 1.2%. That being led by SMH, which continues to be the beast. It's up about 3.5%. The movement in SMH has been astounding. Garrett and I were just talking about it, but if you're just joining the show, SMH really hasn't gone anywhere since May. On May 27th, SMA opened the day around 612. Now it's shot all the way up to 668. It's been as low as 550, but you take a look, it's trading 613.51. So meanwhile, while that is going, you have really big intraday movement. It's moving about, as I said, about a 68% volatility on an annualized basis. That is major, and that's really the engine behind the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ is getting lifted by AMD today. It's getting lifted by Intel and Broadcom and your other chip stocks that are not NVIDIA. Meanwhile, as we've said, chips are a vampire. Apple is down. Amazon is down. Google is down $8. Meta is down. Microsoft is down. NVIDIA is down. The only one of the Great 8 / Mag 7, let me see where Tesla is. Tesla is flat. The only one of the original Mag 7 stocks that is up today is Broadcom, or the Great 8, as I used to call it. And yet, despite that, the NASDAQ is up 8 base, almost a point. That is not something you're going to see very often. That shows you how much chips have taken over the entirety of the market. The other piece that I want to kind of talk about and kick off the show is Iran. Oil. Nobody really is sure what's happening in Iran. I know I don't want Colgate Palmolive. I want crude futures. No one is quite sure what's happening with Iran. I did tell you this yesterday. It matters less, right? We just firebombed Iran for 3 days straight, and WTI went from 68 to closing yesterday at 73, a $5 move. That would have been this couple months ago. So I think Iran is starting to matter less. But the thing is, I don't think anybody knows what's happening, right? The president says he doesn't know if he wants a deal. He doesn't know if there's going to be a ceasefire. And with what's happening in Iran, you're starting to see weakness in the stocks that had been really strong. Delta has taken a dive. Look at the run this was on since April, end of April. Went from 67 to about 95. UAL is going to look similar. AAL, is same chart. Love, same chart. Here's Carnival Cruise Lines. That got a little bit different chart, but you can see where the weakness lies. CCL looks not great. RCL. So we're seeing the only real like pain point for oil right now that the market is reflecting is in the transpose. So, and that tells you, in my opinion, that we've kind of moved off of what, how oil and Iran is affecting the overall market. So now let's look at some charts. I want to bring on our own Queen of the Candles, fresh off the beach. Your queen in mind. She is Leisha J. Leslie. Leisha, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I have to say, I told Scott last night I'm ready to go back to work. I'm excited.
Nice work. Well, you were missed. Trust me. So we're very glad to have you back. I want to start. I mean, markets are rolling over while we're talking, which is kind of interesting.
I know. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, we were taken off and now we are the opposite of that.
Yep.
What are you seeing in like in the major indexes in your charts? SPX, NDI, NASDAQ, Qs, because I'm seeing a ton of confusion.
Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. On your S&P 500 futures, put this downtrend line on your RSI. It is moving lower. We are testing the median line here as it failed yesterday. Close below it.
Can you flop to her screen? Oh, there we go. All right. Now
okay.
All right.
Okay. As I said, add this downtrend line on your RSI as it's moving lower. MACD looks like it wants to roll back bearish. Yesterday, we failed our median line, which we have seen support, resistance. It is a valid, very valid support resistance level held every day until yesterday. Now, generally when we close below a support or resistance, we come back and retest it. Now this morning, not only did we retest our median line, we're retesting yesterday's high. And that's exactly where we stopped this morning, right there. And I told our 0DT chat, that's going to be our resistance. Watch this RSI move below 70. And sure enough, if you hopped in those 750 puts at 92 cents, they're now, oopsie. I think Google puts are good for today too. Anyway, they're $2. They're $2.20. So your 5-minute charts are so important. Put this 74.82.59 support right here. That's going to be you got to watch that. Here's our 5-minute pitchfork, worked beautifully. I gave our 0DT peeps that this morning. Anywho, I think we could roll over as we are. Although Qs are, here, look at Qs. Qs held our median line yesterday with a nice bullish piercing candle. As you can see, it held every time it tested this. Yesterday, the 50-day stopped it out on the high. This morning popped up over the 50-day, but our resistance here, 721.58. Actually, I would adjust that to today's high. That's going to be your resistance. We roll back down. Watch the 50-day here on the Qs, and to close that gap it created this morning, which would take it down to 791 cents. Makes sense, right? To trade back to 700.
It does.
The Qs aren't, and for this to come to fruition, we need to clear that 723 level to trade back up to 737. So we're kind of like a possible little bear flag right here. Although this is a bullish signal. You mentioned SMH. You want to look at that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is the one, it's taken over the market, and it is so heavily traded and invested in. It hasn't really done anything since, May. And yet it's showing this extreme day-to-day volatility.
Yeah, well, the overall market is, if you look at, going back to, when we made new highs, every chart you look at, the candles are giant, right? To me, that seems like these candles are very large. They're starting to slow down a little bit, but these big candles kind of a lot of confusion is what it tells you, right? A lot of confusion at the top.
And I think part of that is because of the chips. So, Leisha, check this out. All right. NVIDIA is 18% of SMH. Taiwan Semiconductor is 9%. Broadcom is 7%. Those are 3 of the 10 largest companies in the world. And those three stocks account for roughly 34%. You add in AMD and Intel, and you're now near about 45-50% in 5 stocks that are, add up to about $10 trillion in value. And that amount, if I told you, here's a portfolio of 5 stocks with a total value, total market cap of $10 trillion, you wouldn't expect an output of 68% realized volatility. That is astronomical.
Right.
That's what's I think that's what's throwing things off. Yeah, I left for a second. I think that the fact that we're seeing that kind of volatility out of those major names is turning into a story.
Well, is it just the confusion over AI? Like there's still, the outcome of AI. I don't think it's been set in stone yet what it's actually going to do to humanity.
No, I think that's a fair.
I'm not joking when I say humanity. I don't. Anyway, I'm an old girl. Anyway, look at SMH hold our support here once again at the bottom of our nice little dragonfly doji. Cleared the 50-day and then nice pop today. Watch the 20-day. That's going to be some resistance. So you may be getting, you have gotten a reversal here on SMH. You will be coming up to some resistance. If you surpass the 20-day, watch up here, 640. Follows the pitchfork beautifully.
Okay. The last thing SMH definitely telling a story. Last one is Bitcoin, because that has been kind of all over the place. I want to look at Bitcoin and energy if we had time, and then we're going to talk SpaceX.
Yeah. I just want to point out our 5-minute pitchfork held support on the channel there.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Crude. Did you say Bitcoin crude?
Yeah, crude, Bitcoin, either or.
Crude is kind of stuck right here between the downward way steep 20-day and then the 200-day. That's all going to be resistance there. It's got to pop above that. Looks like today it's giving it back. So maybe sideways. I would say sideways action there in crude. Bitcoin is trading in a box range at the moment. You'll see, and add these levels if you're a Bitcoin trader. 64,226, and then the 20-day. On the downside, support is 60,527, and then below there, I would move these to this lows here. So I would say, sell it here, buy it here. It's in a box range, and it has been since it dropped down here on June 3rd. Pretty good range, though, money to be made in there. What was the third thing you said? Airlines?
No. I want to pivot. So while you've been out, obviously SpaceX has continued to trade. And, we just had a bunch of analysts call. Yeah, you just look like your look there was like, ooh. We just had a bunch of analysts come out, but shockingly, it's the ones that did the IPO, come out and say this should be a $220 stock or a $200 stock or $175. The IPO price was $135. Obviously, it opened at $150. What are you thinking? Are you interested in maybe setting up a long play in SpaceX, or do you think it it continues to roll lower.
Put that downtrend line in right there and put that support 149.63, which is violated yesterday. And I think it's going lower. I put this downtrend line in. I wouldn't go along here until it clears 157. Yeah.
All right. Above 157, you are an interested buyer.
To 170, 157. Yes. But below there, I think this is going to drop. It looks like it's going to drop right now to me. Let's see if we add this pitchfork on the downtrend. We finally have enough candles, possibly.
To make a pitchfork?
Yeah. No, it's still too steep. Unless we do something like this. There you go.
Oh, interesting.
There you go. Look at honored the median line here.
Uh-huh.
Honored there. Yeah, we're struggling against the median line. So this channel lines up right very closely with yesterday's low. Watch that level, and then 142.82. And to the bottom of the pitchfork would be down here, 134, 133. So pitchfork drawers, there you go. I'd say lower here. Unless you get a pop over this 157, then you go long. Does that imply vol at all?
What's that?
Does that imply
what's happening with implied vol? Great question. Yeah. So we've seen average true range really fall off. It's down to about 14. Still big, but it is sinking pretty quickly. And the implied vol is down to about 86%, which will go lower. But reminder, and this is something we warned you about, right? Initially, the options on SpaceX were trading about 120% volatility. So they're down about 40 points. Or so if you bought a longer dated option on the day the option is listed, you've lost on top of theta. On top of theta, you've lost about a third of your option premium from the volatility coming in. You're saying, well, Mark, how much is that? The September 150s and have a vega of about 26. So if we've lost 40 points, that means this option, when it first listed, was $10 more expensive. $10 more expensive, folks. That's why when IPOs list, you don't go out and buy calls unless you've got a very, very high conviction. You can use some spreads, but that's about it. All right, Leisha, what do you got on tap today? You've got Project Next this afternoon.
Yes, we do. Excited to do that.
Yeah, we gave them a very nice little off the books trade in Tesla on Tuesday night. We told them, hey, check out the Tesla 402.5 puts for $3.80. On the lows, those puts were worth about $14. So you hit the nail on the head with that one, Leisha.
Way to go. Now it looks like Tesla wants to trade lower. Once it clears, always, folks, when you're thinking about a direction, your most recent highs and lows, you got to clear that before you hop in. In this case, we didn't, because this was very bearish. This was some confusion. So, yeah, puts were in order there. But to go lower here in Tesla, you need to, I think it's going lower.
Yeah, we've got I built a pitchfork based on November 25th, December 25th, December 22nd, November 14th, and April 7th. And it's honored it pretty well, Alicia. Look at this.
Let me see.
November 14th.
Oh, yeah.
December 22nd, Tuesday the 7th. So, based on this, it looks like it's heading to about 380, somewhere in that range.
Mark, that is a perfect Pitchfork, look at how it honored the channel. It traded to the median line, came down, after the median line, then hit the back to the channel, popped, traded all the way down, and then back to the top of the channel. Excellent pitchfork, Mark Sebastian.
Thank you. I've learned from the best. Thank you. I've learned from the best. All right. Leisha, thanks so much for sharing your chart insights. You were missed. I'm glad you had a good time on your vacation, but you were absolutely missed. Welcome back home, Leisha J. Leslie, the queen of the candles, your queen and mine, Leisha J. Leslie.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Well, everybody, our show is wrapped up, but make sure you stick around because I want to walk you through some things I'm doing in Delta Strike. And, just 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about a couple of developments that we've got going on. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've been trading. Maybe we'll even have a little time to look at a couple of pieces of order flow. Folks, this was the State of the Market. I'm Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. I'll be back with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, as I am every single day. All right. So, folks, Delta Strike. What is Delta Strike? There is this concept, and they've done all these studies on insider trading. Now, it's not really insider trading. It's, call it well-informed trading, right? The big firms, Goldman Sachs, they have entire teams looking at sectors, and they have for specific stocks, they may have entire teams looking at them and trading them. And you can see what these firms think through their options order flow. Bigger firms, right? Remember, options are now the dog and stocks are the tail. Options are a more important part of the financial marketplace in terms of trading than the stock market is. More volume every single day. So when a firm like Goldman or Citadel or JP Morgan want to express a short to intermediate view on a stock, they like to use order flow. And they like to use options. And the nice thing about options is we can actually track what they're trying to do and how they're trying to make money. So, I want to go back through and look at a stock that we've done reasonably well on lately, Williams Companies, WMB. I'm going to so we opened this trade on Monday, June 22nd. And what we saw was early in the morning, a huge sale of WMB 68 puts. And we actually saw a lot of buying of the 75 calls in August and the 80 calls in August. And I believe we'd seen more buying earlier in the week. I'm not going to dig in. But you've got this big put sale saying Williams is not dropping anymore. And then you have all this ancillary call buying. Let's take a look at what Williams did. So starting on June 22nd, here we are, June 22nd. We see the big put sale. We see the chart saying, hey, look, it's coming off the bottom of the pitchfork. I believe Leisha was in this session, and she said, I like it higher. We go out and buy the July 75 calls. I paid $1.95. Paid $1.95. Well, by the 25th, look where Williams is. It runs all the way up to 78 $78 almost. And if we hung on one more day, it got up near 80. But we sold on the 25th. And our July 75 calls, I bought for $1.95. I sold at $3.30. Was a gain of just under 70%. Similar trade would be one that we did in Amazon. I'm going to go to June 23rd. And Amazon, we were seeing heavy order flow of traders buying July and August call spreads. And it had not just been on the 23rd. It had been on the... So look, the July 245 calls, 10,000 bought for 485. Stock at the time was about 236. I think that was the one that really triggered us. But we'd seen call buying in this before. Pull up the chart of Amazon. Oh, lo and behold. Again, this is on June 23rd. We did the trade. We had one down day. Oh, I'm sorry. We did it on June 23rd. And then the next day, we literally get this shoot up. I'll show you a little closer. Sorry. The next day, we literally get a pop higher to 242.74. Now, if I'd held on to till the 29th, I would have really cleaned up. But I buy a call one day, and I can sell it. I buy a call one day for $4, and the next day I can sell it at $6.60. How many of you are going to take that money overnight? I know I am. But we are constantly trying to improve our trading here at Option Pit, as you know. We are always trying. And this is why we built the Insider Tracker. Now, this is hard to read from your eyes, but this is something we are working and building for all of our traders. And what it's doing is it is scouring corporate executives for major buys and major sells. And then it'll actually pull up mixed. So mixed, this actually was a negative day. And I can look at them on a 7-day basis. I can go back to 30 days. And, we had, you're going to say Parabolis Medicine, $434 million. PBLS had just listed. So that's why that's in there. But you'll see there are some interesting names that pop in here, names that tend to move, names that we can take advantage of. Fiserv. We had a bunch of executives buying in, about $2 million of Fiserv bought. And if you look at when they were buying, the timing's pretty good. They were buying it when it's down in the for less, $50 or less, 50, 49, 48, 49. So they all stepped in late June when the stock was at its lows. And lo and behold, the stock pops to $55. Now, I don't leave it there, though. I'm not just going to trade off of insider flow, because corporate executive flow can be really confusing. You've heard Garrett talk about it. You've heard a lot of people talk about it. Corporate executive flow can be very confusing. But what if I went back to, and folks, this is not a trade we did. What if I went back to the 22nd and the 23rd when it was at those lows, around those times those executives were buying their options, and I looked to see if somebody else is buying a big block of calls, something somewhat near the money. If I can find a large block of calls that matches up with this insider buying, how well do you think that's going to perform? How much money do you think you're going to make combining those two? But we went further. We've got Congress in here as well. And I can filter down in here how much was bought, what were they buying, and a name that popped up here is 4. There is heavy congressional buying of shift 4 payment. Now, today, you've got buyers of the August 55 calls. Nothing huge yet, but they're there. And we can see we do have some big open interest in July. The 45s, the 50s, the 55s, and 60s. I think the July 55s for a quarter seem pretty inexpensive. Most of these calls were bought on July 1st. So I would want to be looking, since now if we were in an uptrend, I'd be looking for order flow here. But now that we got a couple of days of selling, we're getting a green candle. As soon as I see a large block order flow, piece of order flow, I'm going to be going in with shift 4 payments, because we are seeing a lot of buying in shift 4 payment. Donald Trump bought some. Stephen Mirren on the Fed. And this guy, Jarek Isaacman, who's the administrator of National Aeronautics and Space Administration. I don't know why he's buying shift 4 payments, but they bought a lot of it. 5 to 25 million, 5 to 25 million. Huge buying. And this buying was all done in May, around in May, around 40. So this is one, and we're not seeing sales. We are not seeing sales. Congress is a little slower. That's why I don't use it as much, but the dashboard, and I can do some cool things here. I can create a watch list. And I can pull up some other fun stuff on this as well. It's a really neat tracker. And then I come down here and I can see kind of in grouping buys and sales. Obviously, Vision Wave, that's a new SVR. SVRE is an IPO, I believe, or a relatively recent one. No, it's been around. This is one. I'm going to have to take a look at Vision Wave Holdings. A lot of stock bought. So I'm going to be looking at this one as well. Could be some fun in there. So this is still in development, but this is going to be coming your guys' way. Type in a 1 if you are a member of Delta Strike. No, that would make sense. Yeah, we've got a lot of Delta Strike members here. Now, when we add a feature to a service and you're a subscriber, as long as it's not relying on us pulling data, we're going to, at a minimum, give you the ability to look at this. This may show up on our screen, something that we have during the day, so you can look at it during the chat room. Look at it in the chat room. We may bring it out as a scanner, but what I can tell you is this is coming. The next version is going to be a full-on scanner, and it's going to pair these names with heavy call buying. How does Delta Strike meets every day? The question is, how does Wiretap different from Delta Strike? Delta Strike meets live every single day. We are looking at all order flow, not just one specific trader, and looking for opportunities all over the board. We generally lean lower beta than Wiretap does. Wiretap is a higher beta trading service. So with Delta Strike, you have the opportunity to join this week for $1,000. Normally, this is going to cost you $24.99 for a year. And I think that's too cheap. $24.99 a year, you get a live session with me every day. Alicia joins me once or twice a week. I bring on guests. Every day I put out a watch list. Every day you get a dad joke. And we're going to be putting on 2 to 3 new trades every single week. The track record win rate has been about 70%. And we've been on a very big heater since in 2026. I have wins of 350%, of 342%, of 240%, of 209%, 136, 130. I could keep going. 125, 126. I could keep going. You will see some huge wins, right? And this is going to generally have lower volatility than a lot of services because we're doing several trades and because we're going off a smart order flow, and we're mixing that. We're going to be mixing this as an add-on. Now, insider trades, congressional trades, they don't come out every day. So we're going to continue to be trying to trade off of order flow. But when we get a trade that matches up option buying with insider buying or congressional buying, I'm expecting that combo to produce a win rate north of 80%, maybe 90%. Especially if we can get more if only Congress would allow us to know their trades much quicker than 1 month. So this is coming your way. I said, watch list, live session with me 2 to 3 times a week. Really good win rate. Lots of fun. Dad jokes. It's just a great time. It is our flagship product here at Option Pit. Like, this was the first service we really launched here at Option Pit. So, and it has been around. We've been around for this product in particular has been around for about 7 years. So it has been very stable, and it's been stable, consistent, and that's why we have 150 to 200, sometimes 250 traders joining us live to trade options order flow every single day. You can join for 70% off right now. You can click the link and join me, or give me a call. Give my team a call, 888-872-3301. All right, that's 888-872-3301. Give us a call. Join me and my team at Delta Strike. Folks, I am going to leave it there for you. Once again, click that link that we posted. This $1,000 offer is ending extremely shortly. So you want to take advantage of this today and take advantage of all the goodies that I am building for you guys on top of all the great stuff we're already doing. Click the link, give my team a call, 888-872-3301. And if you already have a service, ask about Trader X. That might be something where if you've got 1, 2, or 3 services, that may be the right fit for you. And I can tell you our Trader X guys and girls love the Trader X program. You can ask about it. It's our kind of professional access to all VIP access to everything that we do here at Option Pit. All right, folks. And again, click the link, 888-872-3301 if you want to give us a call, or shoot us an email, support@optionpit.com. So for Alicia J. Leslie, our Queen of the Candles, I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Thank you for spending this time with me, and thank you, Amin.